All right, and this is really weird. This is literally just minutes after the last video. I got a little bit excited, and I got another I got an idea going on. You know what I mean? I should have given myself a little time to figure something out, but at least I got cleared up on where I wanted the channel to go. Anyways, I'll get right into it. So I wanted to talk about and it was me kind of reflecting a bit on some of the 90s rap and stuff. And, and I know it sounds messed up, but it's an appreciation for being hard. I know that sounds weird, right? But being hard, being ghetto, being genuine. And I want to kind of explain that. Now, the way I think about it is, if I was that if anyone, as a man, if you were that person at some point, or at one point, or at one point or another, if you were that person, and let's say you fast forward 10 years down the road, you might be much more, you might have achieved a lot. You might be looking different, looking very mature, looking like somebody with some status and things like that. And what I want to point out is that you will still appreciate that thing, and let me explain, okay? If somebody's broke, for example, right, and they get a get rich quick scheme, or they get money somehow, they will disassociate with who they were at one point. They're just going to be rich, and they want to be rich, and they want to talk to rich people, and they don't want to talk about or even associate with in any way that time when they were broke. I'm at this high level, and I'm going to pretend like I never was lower. Right? There are people who do that, right? And what I wanted to say was, and I've talked about this, and this is relevant because last night we were talking about kind of how, I said if there was a conversation between me and an actual mercenary who actually did it for real, how it would go. And it was really cool the way I did it. But this is the point. There are a lot of people, they'll start from a certain point, but they don't appreciate that point. They've forgotten about it. They're on this class level. This is their people and their society, and they're happy with it, right? And they're like, dude, let's just pretend that never ever happened. There are people who might even become something big in government agencies and in education, whatever the case is. And it's like, dude, I don't want to associate with my other beginnings, my humble or my lower, or that I started low. Now, I've told you that I am proud. There was a lot of times when I used to think, man, why did I live why was I so at a lower level or whatever? And I think about all the times I was at a basic level, and I go, dude, that's an amazing story, man. To start from level 0, from nothing, and to build yourself up, especially without guardianship or having a mentor, and just building yourself up, right, from that level 0 is really a really difficult thing. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy at all. It's very difficult, and I'm very proud of it. Whenever I think about how low I was for so long, I go, I'm really proud of it, to be very honest. Now, what I'm talking about is so we did the mercenary thing, and I'm talking about when you see somebody, they're ghetto, they're hard, they're real, they're genuine, right? And they're a little bit of that rough stuff, right? It's still appreciated. This guy might be, buy a nice expensive car. He's in the Hamptons or whatever now, and whatever the case is. But that guy will still appreciate when he sees this young man. He'll still appreciate it. And then finally, the thing I want to say is that I'm not talking about pieces of shit. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about pieces of shit. I'm talking about I know what you're thinking when I'm talking about that, but I mean it. And I'm talking about people who are real, People who have morals, people who have principles, people who have values, people who have ethics. You know, they have a code of ethics that they live by, and they hold it to a high standard. But they're not afraid to, really be somebody who's in the mix or do things that are very, very real. That person still gets that respect. You know, when somebody looks at him and goes, he might not say, oh, that was me when I was younger, but he can appreciate somebody who's coming from that. If you can hold morals and ethics at a low level, at a ghetto level, at a rough, tough, genuine, whatever it is, if you can hold your morals and values and ethics at that level, man, what are you gonna do when you're better off, man, and you're doing better off in life? What are you gonna do? You know, what do you expect? So, in a nutshell, or in a pancake, or whatever you want to call it, in a creme brulee, whatever it is, I've said everything that I wanted to say there. There's really no need to even double back or clarify or talk about any of that. And I'm done.